Hi everybody, welcome to the review. It's 11:28 p.m. Finished watching Fantastic Four First Steps. As per usual, my review will be spoiler free, and if you happen to like the content of my channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and spread the word to your friends and family, and provide a comment at the end of the video if you're interested. Growing up, I was not the biggest Fantastic Four fan, I must admit. I remember my mother and father purchasing this VHS animated series that had Reed Richards, Sue Storm, and Ben Grimm, with Herbie as the fourth member, that with the Human Torch not making an appearance in this particular series. And I would watch it pretty regularly, but I was not, again, a huge fan compared to, say, Spider-Man, Hulk, Captain America, Punisher, Daredevil, you name it. So and it's unfortunate that Fantastic Four hasn't had the best of luck when it came to cinematic adaptations. There is the unreleased version. Then you have the one that was released in 2005, then the Rise of the Silver Surfer in 2007, and we won't even discuss the Fan Fanforce that was released in 2015. So with this film, you have Pedro Pascal playing Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Ebon Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm the Thing. You have Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, Human Torch, Julia Garner as a female Silver Surfer. And so this film had a lot of hesitation from fans and maybe even the general audience going ahead prior to its release, because there was a lot of controversy as to how Reed Richards was going to be depicted, whether or not there was going to be some sort of hidden agenda within this film. And I have to say, to be quite honest with you, I was very surprised. There was not, at least from what I could tell, no hidden agenda, no type of lectures. It was just simply a film that it managed to embrace the cosmic Fantastic Four elements that made him that made him such a iconic family within the Marvel Cinematic Universe and even in the comic books. So this film is telling the story of the Fantastic Four, who have basically, the thing that people seem to misunderstand about the Fantastic Four is that while yes they are superheroes, but they're more explorers that just happen to be involved in apocalyptic world cataclysmic situations that force them to get involved in order to protect the world. But they're more explorers than your average superheroes. So with this film being set in 1960 on Earth 828, they receive a visit from the female Silver Surfer that their planet Earth has been chosen by Galactus to be devoured, and now the Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four are attempting to find a way to combat against this massive cosmic threat. Having said that, I was very surprised by how this film was presented within the 1960s scope format. It really gave you this impression that you were in that particular modern era. And I really loved it. I love any type of story that manages to be set in a more of a period piece, because I do love history. And to have this film give you a perspective of what, say, if Reed Richards created this type of technology, what it would look like in 1960s. And the beautiful concept about that purpose is how, in hindsight, you can see this type of technology existing in 2025, and that really shows you the scientific genius that exists within the mind of Reed Richards. And I know Pedro Pascal is not the most popular actor in the world, but I have to say, he was a solid Reed Richards. I was very impressed. And yes, he does come off as a leader in this film, and it's very obvious that he's a leader. He's the one who is giving the press conferences and doing the equations and trying to find answers to impossible situations. And yes, he definitely does give a solid performance, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Vanessa Kirby was a very good Sue Storm. I was very surprised by Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, Human Torch. Yes, I know there was concerns about his performance too in the comments that he made prior to his release. Yes, Johnny Storm is Johnny Storm in the film, so you don't have to be concerned about his performance. There's a reason why he is the way he is, because he doesn't necessarily have the time to be the skirt chasing superhero that we know him to be, but it's addressed in this film. And you have Ebon Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm the Thing, and I would have liked to have seen more of him and more of the heart that he brings to the team, but he did a great job too. So everyone in and of themselves had great chemistry with one another, and I was very, very impressed. And the reason why also I love the presentation of this film is that it needs to be watched on the big screen. You simply cannot appreciate the scope and the 1960s atmosphere without being able to finally immerse yourself within their world. And it was just wonderful and unique and different, and just gave you a it was a breath of fresh air compared to all the other Marvel Cinematic Universe films that we have experienced throughout the years. And unfortunately, I do believe most people will probably agree that the comic book adaptations as of late have been kind of hit or miss, with the exception of a few outliers here and there. And so with this film, there was this concern that it was not going to be good, and I'm very pleased to say that I was impressed. It is obviously far better than Fantastic, and way better, in my opinion, than the 2005 2007 films. So that has a lot. It has a lot going for it, with the great visuals and the special effects, and the Silver Surfer, the female Super Surfer, Shala Ball, is definitely was a very much a surprise, very mysterious. And there's a moment between her and Johnny Storm that you are just heavily emotionally invested in. I was quite surprised by how dark this film was too. Galactus is just was downright terrifying, and it was wonderful for once not seeing him, be consumed or covered up with a giant cloud. It's just he is there in his full glory, and I loved how intimidating he was. It When you see those eyes glow and you hear that voice, it just reverberates all throughout your soul. It is just wonderful. It was the best way I could describe this film is like a comic book literally coming to life. And I'm gonna have to say this without hesitation. I would watch this again before I would watch Superman. Not that I didn't enjoy Superman, but the Fantastic Four First Steps definitely uh, provided more of an emotional and scientific and fun, entertaining impact for me compared to Superman. And I really enjoyed this film. I was surprised. I was not expecting hardly anything about this, and I highly recommend it. And I do believe there's going to be a lot of people that are going to gravitate more towards this, because it does, if all goes well, it's a step in the right direction for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I will say that much. But overall, I really did enjoy it. It was fun, entertaining, quite dark, surprisingly, and I definitely will give this film a 9 out of 10, 2 thumbs up. Highly recommend it, and be sure to stay for the first after credit scene, because that's definitely makes you wonder exactly what the next step is going to be. And that's my review of Fantastic Four. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about it, and I will see you all again. Take care and peace out.